Hello there, lovely people. Eh, welcome, welcome to session 10 of Numenera Aerowen, which is the finale for our series. This session is going to be titled In Memoriam, in honor of many different themes that have come up throughout this series, not least of which have been things like trauma, loss of memory, what we actually do to hold on to them, or the lengths we'll go to fracture it in order to maintain our own stability. whole different amounts of environmental crisis. We've had eldritch horrors and senses of extreme self-deprecation and low views of ourselves. And that was just all in one episode at one given point. Just think about how that happened across the entire series. But in all seriousness, thank you everyone who's been joining in so far, and welcome, whether you're joining us for the 10th time or for the first time, to our finale here on Girls Run These World. My name is Angela Lemos Mogrovejo. I use she, they pronouns, and I am what I have deemed the world crafter / GM role for Numenera Aerowen. This world is primarily of my creation that I've been holding on to for about 5-6 years, and I've been very blessed to get to run it and have these players contribute pretty much to the canon story and legacy of what this world will be from here on out. Pretty much all of their characters will be inscribed in some way and having been fundamental to the world's history. And so, as a testament to that, I'm going to let them all introduce themselves for one last time. And starting off with already the one ready to cry and be in tears, our own Torin.
I knew you meant me. Hi, everybody. I'm Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity. My pronouns are she, they. I'm playing Kataxi, pronouns she, her, who is a curious ports and plug nano that can talk with machines. And at the current moment, she's doing great.
Narrator, this will be changed very quickly. Carrying onward to our best, most fantastic of Chaos Gremlins, Noelle, you're up.
Well, what's up, everybody? It's me, Noelle. She, her pronouns. I'm playing Errol, also she, her pronouns. She's a cheerful blade who rides the lightning, and she's doing fantastic. She's doesn't have any evil blood stuck on her anymore. She's with her best friends, especially her friend Cadix, who she loves dearly. Everything's great, and gonna continue being great.
Yep, and continuing along with the what was sure to be the approval process of Cadix's decisions is our own fantastic Alex.
Hey y'all, my name is Alex. I use they them pronouns. I'll be playing Enoch, who uses he him pronouns, and he is a mystical nano who possesses a shard of the sun. I don't know how Enoch's doing. We gonna see, girl. We gonna see.
We about to find out, everybody. We're about to find out, and we're also about to find out who our last fantastic player is, who's been with us despite some moments of sickness and other things coming up. An absolute stellar performer. Vivi, take it away.
Hi, I'm Vivi, and I play Jinx. She's an intelligent Delph who explores yesterday, and she's totally fine. Absolutely, yeah, everything's good. If you want to see her last facial expression, you know what? There's a clip of that from last week, just so you can relive the of
we
it
can
all.
relive the very dramatic sense of realization when that all kicked in. And as I said before, folks, I'm Angela Lemos Mogrovejo, and I am here to facilitate what I have promised to my players since session 6, which was gloves are coming off, because the first 5 sessions the gloves were on. So
I don't buy this in any way.
Don't worry, you'll be hurt first. Anyways, so
was that a threat or a promise?
Wouldn't you like to know? Anyways,
both. Both is good.
Both. I love that I can just move to that voice and immediately everyone's like, "Ah, fuck." It's great.
Again, I think this is just like an epilogue session. We're just gonna be like doing a little party or something, or
yeah. It's all gonna be good. It's all gonna be smooth. Anyways, a quick recap, folks. Our party, that has been investigating the second of 4 research sites in the world below, the lands below the floating islands of the world of Aerowen, has taken it upon themselves to try throughout roaming this floating up high in the air, water-based, aquatic, stormy, hourglass-shaped research site that at different points has just pulled them into different areas, has made them go through tremendous environmental catastrophes, and has left so many different marks on them, whether it be from the removal at last after a very arduous process of the entire party chipping in different ways of both of Errol's cursed artifacts. She has actually come into her own and realizing that the electric power that she has been using throughout the series is actually her own. That Damocles, or Fluffy Butt, as he was unfortunately named earlier in the series,
Unfortunately,
to the dismay of the GM who has to say it, was not in fact the provider of that strength. That power was within Errol this entire time. And so as a result of that, the group has managed to keep her safe. But despite being able to finally grant Enoch full security clearance to the entirety of the research site, and also, most importantly, gain access to the Nexus core, the group has also, though not all of them aware of it at this point, now faces a new development. I was about to say problem. I was like, it's not really a problem yet. It'll be a problem in a couple seconds, but in that Cadix is chosen to go through a reiteration process, having witnessed the first reiteration process in a recording left behind by Katerina. And as a result, has chosen to return in the most direct and blunt way possible by conveying that to Jinx and saying that her name is Cataxi. So that is where we pick up in the moment between these two characters, where Cataxi has acknowledged Jinx's presence. That's where we're jumping into, folks. Jinx, how are you feeling? How's it going, bud?
Yeah, everything's just fine. Jinx didn't just lose her best friend. Not at all. No, just like, it's kind of like fight or flight, but it's freeze. And it's like, you got the teacher face on, the holy fuck, what did that child just say? I gotta call CPS. Face, that's what it is. It's like, I am keeping the face, but uh-huh. Oh, yeah? Huh. Yeah. And I don't know, did the other characters hear what we were talking about? Because I mean, we were like forehead to forehead, being weird.
I think the rest of the group, the other half of the group, was a bit distracted with Errol's lightning reflection practicing in the other room, because this was like a slightly set aside room. So I can say no.
Is probably gonna be like, so, would you like me to introduce you to the others?
Sure.
Right, and she's just gonna kind of like put her arm around her shoulder and just like move her forward.
I
And
think Cataxi will put her arm around your neck and just be like, "Hi."
hi. And then they come in this weird friend huddle, and she's gonna look straight at Enoch, and she's gonna say, "Can I introduce you to Kataxi?"
Hi.
Kataxi?
oh,
Somebody restarted herself.
Kataxi. 11.
no.
Hi.
Hi,
Cadix.
Kataxi.
No.
Yes, that's me.
Do you know who we are?
I know your names, I think. So I'm going to assume, because I know she's Jinx, and I know we're friends. And then she's going to point to Khadijah, like, I know that one's Khadijah. I know where we are. So that means that y'all are Errol and Enoch.
Do you remember anything else about us? Do you remember everything we did together?
Do you remember saving Errol?
Did I? I do remember where we are, I think. So my memory tells me that this is Research Center 3. We were doing something super important.
Saving
And
Errol.
I remember that Jinx is my friend. Also, I have a
We were-
lot of logs of Jinx and all of you. So yes.
We were saving Errol.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
did
Do you
we did
do you
it?
remember why you reiterated?
Everything's fine.
Mm.
Everything's fine.
No, we
These
can.
guys can take a seat somewhere. Like, yeah, everything's fine. We're good.
No, we
Everything's
can
just
we?
fine.
Can we bring Cadix back? Like, is this just? I mean, this can't just be how it is now.
What
Do we need to say
you don't?
Alex?
Do you not know who Cadix is, baby?
Cadix is you.
No, I'm Kataxi.
Cadix was you. Now you're Kataxi. It's
Because here's the weird thing. Like, so you see her like processing what y'all are saying.
mm,
And I even think y'all see a little bit of oil out of her eye. Like out on the cracks coming down.
I'm Kataxi.
And she's kind of like glitching a little bit.
Okay, let's not break her. Okay, let's not break her, please.
I mean,
Okay,
Break,
okay.
What is there left to be broken? It's already pretty.
Listen.
Khadijah chimes in at this moment. Dear, it's a pleasure to get to meet you for the first time. Well, sort of.
Hi.
I'm
It's nice
sure
to
it
meet you
feels.
too.
I'm sure it feels weird being told that you know all of us, but it's a pleasure to see you again.
It's nice to meet you too. Now I do know Jinx.
That is very good to know.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to continue helping us with what we were here for? I can take the time to explain it.
Absolutely.
There's quite
I
a bit
mean,
of
yeah.
there's quite a bit of knowledge here that that we could definitely use your help with.
Okay.
Encoding
And then
it.
she pulls out the last notebook because she's been trading notebooks this entire time. There's one that she's held on to. And she looks at it like ready to take notes, but then sees all of your faces because there's horrifically drawn pictures of different events and like the record of the watering the sections and everything. And she's
Mhm.
kind of like, oh, is it about this?
That would be the case, dear.
Okay. Yeah. We can walk and talk.
Of course. I believe that I can lead us back to the central platform through here. Just if you'll allow me to, or a Kataxi, if you would not mind interacting with the computers here, they should be able to acknowledge your presence. Uh, research tech computers, if you wouldn't mind updating the researcher tag to be Kataxi instead of Cadix.
I just.
Yeah.
It's okay, Errol.
You see Khadijah flash a look to you, Errol, and say, like basically, like mouths essentially the phrase like, "Not now." Like basically gives a gesture of, "Wait." She's not saying like stop it. She's just very clear, like firmly but gently saying like not here, not now. Like don't push yet.
Errol silently wonders to herself if she's the reason that Cadix reiterated.
Mm.
Now, dear, apologies for that. The
No, it's
computers
okay.
haven't been. The computers. It's been a little bit since we've gone through updating them, but here we go. Feel free to plug in and interact as you see fit, and just simply note return to central platform.
Okay. You see her metal hair reach out to the computer to start talking to it.
Acknowledgement. Head researcher Kataxi. Welcome.
Thank you.
How may we best help you in this moment?
She turns around to Khadijah. What was it again? Because I definitely forgot. Me.
Return to central platform.
Return to central platform. Thanks. Please return us to central platform.
Yes, head researcher. And if we may say so, it is a pleasure to have you back on our premises. Program ends, and then you watch as a panel of the wall. It seems to. Anyone's ever seen the movie Pan's Labyrinth, where it's almost like a door emerges from where chalk outline has been drawn against it, except instead of chalk, it's almost like a thin line of water starts cutting across it and absorbs a section of the wall until you basically have a door-sized outline for folks to walk through.
Wow, that's really cool.
We have Khadijah pipes up. We have taken the time to try and manipulate a lot of aspects of water and the storm, but we're still developing some things.
Okay. And I think you'll watch her take out like a pen and try to like slowly start drawing things in there.
Oh, and dear, when you have should you feel up to it, feel free to look through more of that book of yours. I'm sure some of the past notes will help you for your future notes.
Okay.
And so she walks through the door, and you sort of watch as an entire bubble just encases Khadijah, and it's like just sort of like swoops into the door frame, and she disappears entirely.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay. And then
Great
she'll just
stuff.
run at it and just like full on body starfish. Run jump into it.
Okay. Do folks immediately follow behind, or is there any sort of discussion that is had while Kataxi is already left?
Oh, I immediately follow behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow. I have my eye specifically on Errol, to be honest. Just because Enoch saw Errol almost die in an effort to reclaim herself. And this newfound confidence, this excitement is tenuous, can be tenuous depending on the situation, and the situation still isn't stable. So he's worried. And then Enoch saw Cadix as Cadix was when he first met her. So he's seen this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, let's go get him attitude before. So I guess he's not as worried about Kataxi because he knows his friend is still in there. So he follows behind. He follows behind Errol.
Jinx, you delay at all, or you just immediately follow as well?
You're muted.
You're saying
baby.
something, and I can't hear you.
That's exactly how she's feeling.
She's just like, ah.
It's like emotionally frozen. She's just following behind, like, okay. In her brain is like,
Oh, yay, the taser brain status. Great. It feels like all of you, the moment that you go through, like, and you're enveloped in that bubble of water, it feels like you're being just gently pushed along a river that's just carrying you through space, a space that seems completely incompatible with where you previously were, but you look and you find yourselves floating in bubbles across the entire space you crossed in order to get over to this sector, and find yourselves suspended and just immediately plop as each bubble pops in turn right onto the central platform. No falling, no nothing of that sort. You just float over and then drop. You're right there. There's no
Like
falling.
Mario.
Yeah, basically, you're just bubbled over safely. But you arrive, and the panel that was there previously is like sort of floating panel that can interact with for the reorientation protocol, or just to talk with is accessible at that moment. You now, Enoch, have full security clearance due to the beacon protocol.
I like that. Okay. So our goal was to get to the core. Yes. Cool. So
Core.
the next
And
is
I think-
core, boo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you'll see her twitch a little bit and just. Didn't. What I thought North. I thought we were going to North Flipped.
North Flipped.
Aren't we coming from North Flipped?
North Flipped, I will say for the benefit of the group and to note Kataxi's current glitching, that was what Cadix had noted to Enoch.
Yeah.
The Northern Flip section was where Zeke was last noted to be.
Thank you. Thank
But
you
it's
very
curious
much.
that Kataxi is remembering this.
You see what I'm saying? Okay.
Wait, what do you know about North Flipped?
I have no idea.
Thank you, Kitaxi. Yes. North Flipped. Forward march. Let's go. And am I able to like interact with the console and stuff and get us to
Try and
that
interact
section?
with the console.
Yeah, I'd like to try.
The moment like you stretch your hand out, that's like I'm gonna go only mildly cliche, and it's very like Iron Man movie-esque, like three-dimensional like components to interact with. But now all of the components have changed in coloration to be bright, radiant oranges, yellows, and reds in direct reflection of your access. And you say, Beacon Protocol recipient, codename Enoch. Welcome.
Thank you.
Where would you like to access in the facility?
The North Flipped sector, please.
Northern Flip Sector. Main focus of Northern Flip Sector, blizzards, tsunamis, and earthquake measurements. Would you like us to deactivate defense protocols currently in place for the entry room?
Oh, yes, please.
As you wish. Beacon Protocol recipient Enoch. Defense protocols will be removed shortly. Would you like us to create a pathway for you to walk across?
If you wouldn't mind, darling.
Very well. Pathway protocols now in effect. One moment, please.
Thank you.
Of course. And you do hear Khadijah right next to you, Kataxi, saying, many of the different machines and other forms of technology here are quite complex and do require some maintenance. I do recall on one occasion that Bashiri, Aeon, and Horatio took some time to take a look at them, but I don't think it was ever their specialties. I think Sybil had a lot more focus on that.
They sound really smart.
Mm-hmm.
She's just blinking a lot. Also, and she's gonna whisper if they're kind of off to the side, like, Khadijah, is everyone okay?
We've had a recent loss here. It's
Oh,
a bit difficult.
I'm sorry. Sounds bad.
It is. But we try and remain hopeful and at times, when necessary, happy through the more difficult moments. I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good.
It's good to engage with things in good when we're able to, and in good time, dear.
Mm-hmm.
I recall trying to tell Makoto that on one occasion. It never quite took for them. But in any case.
I'll have to see if I know these people. I'll look them up. And she writes down all the names that just got thrown at her.
Yep. And I'm curious. This is just a player question. Torin,
Oh, okay.
does Kataxi start looking back earlier in the notebook?
Yes, but I think she looks at the very beginning.
Okay.
Because no one told her when. You know what I mean? Like, no specifics. So, okay, all the way to the front.
Yes. Yes, I too am autistic in my processing of the world.
You said go to the earlier ones.
Surprise!
All the way to the
I was
beginning.
autistic the whole time.
Respects the autistic GM.
And
No, dear God, no.
too literal, no.
The one weakness.
At the beginning, it's actually scientific notes, like more like organized. Everything. Funnily enough, that you say that, everything is very organized. Everything is very like looks like it's almost printed, but it's handwritten, like printed by a machine, but it's handwritten. And it's scientific classifications of different bugs and insectoids, arachnids of the world. A lot of them long gone in the front, just for funsies.
While you and Khadijah are having that conversation, Enoch, basically the moment you tell the interface to go ahead with creating you a pathway, the entire northern sector, just as you saw happen with the southern part, entirely flips over. So you're seeing an almost mirrored perspective of what happened, of what an area you had previously been in, so that it looks like all the water that if you walked into it or up to it, because perspective is weird in this place, now is hanging on the top half of the dome, and the dome has been turned upside down. But you
That's
also
so
see
cool.
you also see the small little weather bot devices that have previously been little assholes to all of you and just tried to knock you all off. You see two of them like fly over next to you and like hold out like little robot hands waving, and then you watch as they both just start like ejecting a small little device in front of them that they start with the hands creating an ice pathway for you to just basically do slide over into the next sector.
Oh, nice.
Aerowen makes like a little hello display with her lightning. Like it just says hello and it's got little people waving and like little streamers.
You watch now as one of the little bots, as it's halfway through doing it, it looks up and it makes a little snowflake design that also says hello in response.
Wow. Everyone's so awesome.
Yeah. Do you?
Are we going?
Yeah, let's.
Okay. She just runs and slides.
Yep. You slide and you find yourself immediately just going wee.
Just
basically like on the full penguin slide all the way across this platform, and you at the end of the pathway it scoops up. So pretty much everyone who chooses to do so scoops up and flies into the dome.
Okay.
You're going forward, but anyone looking from the outside, it looks like you get launched upwards.
There's definitely a yay! Screaming at the end.
Again, are we chasing after a penguin? Are we trying to beat a penguin?
And if there's any like floating aerial time, you just see the starfish again, like
But yeah.
the stage is just terrifying.
A little plus 100 points appears above you.
For some reason, you start doing this pose and a star appears over your head.
We freeze frame, cut the credits.
No, it's this place is awesome. But
I I kind of want to just like bolt rider second me right next to Kataxi. And
Yeah.
just,
It's your call.
yeah, I'll do
I
that.
will say that's fucking frightening as shit to just be like, wait, oh my god, no!
I think what happens is that Kataxi like goes up on the slope, and then I zap, and I'm right underneath accidentally. So it's like using me as a sled for a second, like in the way that we land, like very cartoon.
The thing is, though, as you reach the end of it and you swoop upwards, you go into the dome, and you have that same sort of like slurp grab
Oh,
thing that
great.
happens before, and you get pulled into the dome. So 2 of your party have already been over there.
So wait, so it was like we
Yes,
like
actually,
shit.
yes.
Perfection. All right, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And hey, we're doing great.
I see. I think I'm gonna walk with Jinx and just kind of elbow you a little bit. How you holding up, friend?
Everything's great.
Are you
It's
sure?
oh, you know what? It's gonna be fine until it's not fine.
That's true. That's true.
Let's just get through this, and I can fall apart later when the
Yeah.
kids won't see.
Don't do it by yourself here. All right. And off I'll go.
If Jinx also follows suit, Khadijah
Yeah,
just
it's like,
very much.
wow, holy shit!
Khadijah just kind of like steps onto it and does. It's almost like a full Magneto-esque, just slow glide across the entire thing.
I think that's what Enoch is doing too. I don't know what the fuck they got going on, but I'ma slide on
Yeah,
through.
you have a bonding moment with your great grandmother. Just both of you looking like, what the fuck are they doing?
Right, cause
It's like,
girl.
actually, you know what? I know a better phrase to insert at this moment. That child ain't right.
At all, like
Is Khadijah Hank
doing
Hill?
stuff and things.
Don't question my character choices.
Conspiracy board. Wait.
Does Aerowen have? Now I have to ask myself: does Aerowen have a conspiracy board equivalent somewhere? Instead of Reddit, it's Spectrumit. All the queer conspiracy theorists just start wondering: are they hiding stuff down below?
Oh shit.
Anyways, moving clearly off of any Reddit adjacent conversations. You land in the same sort of entrance room, and there's a split second for everyone of like, oh no, what terrible, horrible thing is about to happen?
Mhm.
The low earthers were right. God damn it. God damn it, chat. Stop distracting me. I don't care if it's my own cast doing it. Stop distracting me. But you have this moment of panic as you land in this room, and there's like, and then you just hear, it's like, acknowledged. Beacon Protocol recipient Enoch. Room will be cleared of all defensive protocols.
Thank you, boo. Tell me
You're
something.
welcome, babe.
I like
You're
this
like-
computer. We're gonna have to chat later.
It's like,
Listen.
it's like what? It's like what? It's like you heard me.
What?
Don't stop.
Listen.
I'm afraid I
Wait,
can't. do
Enoch,
that,
what's
Enoch.
going on over there?
A whole lot of
Enoch's
drama.
raising a computer. Don't worry.
Yeah,
This
I was mentioning computer stuff over here and it got really hot all of a sudden. I don't.
That's grown folks' business.
Well, carrying on from that.
I'm 21.
Anyways, veering rapidly away from this conversation topic, as when all the walls sort of, instead of actually like pulling away or even just sliding away, they all actually begin to melt down away from you, almost as though they are like turning into snow. And the moment all of them do, you all feel for a split second a rush of cold air that is like makes everything right now very difficult to see. You then hear the computer say, implementing protection protocols for beacon protocol recipient, Enoch. Enoch, would you like us to also protect your party and insulate them from the cold?
Yes, please.
Can be done.
Thank you.
And you all watch as like you get these little tiny, like we're talking like the size of like a small opal sized jewels that you, when you hold them into your hands, you feel perfectly fine. You don't feel too hot. You don't feel too cold. It feels like it's nullifying the cold for a bit. It's not improving being able to see jack shit, but for right now, it feels like you can actually at least manage moving around for right now.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So what are we looking for?
Khadija, we're looking for someone named Zeke.
Oh, you're looking for my husband.
Yes. I would like to see him.
Yeah, I'm sure he would like to see you. Last I heard, he was heading over to this sector to try and clear out anybody else who might have been left behind with trying to get folks out before the research facility went into chaos.
Yeah.
I hope he's been able to avoid the entities in here. They're quite dangerous.
Well, is there a way that you can contact him by chance? Do you know?
Unfortunately, not. When we were trying to get away in the thunder and the lightning fields, a lot of my I nearly got hit by something, and while I was able to phase myself out of the way, some of my gear was not. I was not strong enough or focused enough to keep all of my gear safe, and my last communicator that I had to talk to him fried.
Oh shit. Oh god. Okay. That's fine. As
I
long
don't
as
know
you're
how he's
okay.
doing, if that's what you're asking.
No, it's okay. We are here. We can find him. And I think we should.
Let's get looking. So, first thing to do is somebody has to try and figure out a way for you to even see through this mess, because right now it's real bad. Like we're talking like you got to do one of these to even try and keep the wind from hitting you right in the eyes. So it comes down to I would allow something like might or speed to try and get through this quickly, but but that'll probably be a lot harder to do. Whereas something of an intellect task that that is based around perception would also probably apply here. So it depends what you want to try and do to give yourself more viewing space. Because right now the first problem to solve is you can't see anything.
Mr. Enoch, does this have like any goggles or anything? Like computer? I mean, you and the computer seem really powerful.
Huh. Hey computer, can you give us goggles? Do y'all have gear?
We did previous beacon protocol recipient Enoch. Unfortunately, our gear has been taken by one head researcher Ezekiel. All emergency reserves of equipment have been taken for investigative purposes.
Of course, of course.
Approximately 1 hour ago.
An hour ago.
Oh, we're not that far behind then.
Not at all. Do you know which direction Zeke went, computer?
Unfortunately, entropic entities have prevented any sort of navigational devices from being implemented in the area. Freezing effect
Fair.
of entropic entities have caused haywire and chaos within navigational devices used throughout the sector.
Cool. Good to know. Thank you. Um I have a DM question.
Yes.
Okay. rock with me for a second.
If you suggest hedge magic during
Please, I
I'd
just
be
need to
so
know. I
mad.
just need to know.
I'd be
I
so
just need
mad.
to know.
Being hedge match for this. So effort and edge.
God damn it. I don't care how you finish that statement, even if it's right. I don't care. It's like the phrase I have been Pavlovian trained into associating nothing but stress with that phrase.
Wait,
God
Oh
damn.
goodness.
not gonna lie, I was gonna use scan, but
I was
okay.
genuinely
scan.
gonna.
No, scan.
No, go ahead, Alex. Alex.
We've
yeah.
all got our
Alex, what would
signature abilities. I've got shock. It's got hedge
I
magic.
do. I was gonna ask if
Yeah,
hedge
Alex.
magic would work here.
In all seriousness, what would you want to try and use with hedge magic? Because it's small, minor things. So
Yes.
genuinely, what is your idea you're going for?
So my question is, if the lack of visibility is due to the snow, right?
Yes, it's the snow. It's blizzard, so it's like it's both snow and also there's wind happening right now.
Got it.
So it's very difficult to try and even like get through this easily.
So I don't think I would try and use hedge magic to get through it so much as like provide maybe like a windshield wiper situation to the eyes as like maybe a +1 or something. I don't know. Like I don't think I could
Here's what
justify something that big.
Here's what I'll give you. If someone else wants to try and do something perceptual, I will not put something as an inability. I will not put an acid against you increasing the ability, like some sort of hindrance, if you do that. But what I will say is that if you're focusing on that, you cannot be the one to do the perceptual task.
I see.
So this will prevent anyone trying to do it from being knocked down and increasing the difficulty or being knocked down in their skills and not being able to use it as well.
See.
So I will say yes, hedge magic can be used for this case specifically. The con is that you cannot be the one to do the task as well because you are having to focus on, because again, remember, it's like blizzard winds, so you're trying to even just focus, even if it's just a small light or providing a small bit of space of clearance to try and make out anything. You have to focus entirely on that to make it even worthwhile.
That's fair.
Kataxi's-
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying the perception.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kataxi's gonna look at Jinx and
Yeah,
just.
I'm bad at everything except hitting. So.
Well, and Jinx, aren't you good at finding
The way,
the
yeah.
way? And I can look to see if we can find anything that might be helpful. I can scan and look around.
Dream team. Go
Yeah,
for
Perception
it.
and
We
navigation.
both have perception. Yeah. I have scan ability.
Dream team. Dream team.
Mhm,
I believe in all of you.
All right, thanks.
I'm just doing like, I've got like electric pom poms that I'm doing.
Yes! And they like every time it goes up, does it like spark? You know, at the end, when they do this, yeah.
And then I throw them in the air and it explodes into go team.
Oh, actually, also, Khadijah, can I see your communication thing? I know you're looking at the book. Just tell me.
You can.
I took repairing as a skill.
Oh,
and magically Kataxi would know that. Sure.
Yeah, here's the deal. I will say if you want to divvy up into two different tasks, here's how it'll be. It will be a difficulty 4 repair, intellect task repair, Kataxi, to try and get this thing in working condition.
Okay.
And Jinx, I will say this is a difficulty 5 perception task to try and even make out anything remotely worthwhile. I'm going to say AO. Anyways, Kataxi, I'm going to say let's do Kataxi's first because this might affect something related to your role. But regardless, you'll both have +1 for each of your roles because you're trying to help each other in the process.
Sweet. Okay.
So, Kataxi, so it is difficulty 4 to start.
Which is 12.
Which is 12. So you're trained in repairs.
Yes.
So that drops it down to 3.
3. And okay, I am not as adept as my friends here. So I have now 3 effort that I can put towards this. So help me do the maths, please.
Okay, so normally it would be 3 for the first level of effort, but minus your edge. What is your edge?
2 for intellect.
Okay, so then that would drop it down to 1, then 2, then 2. So it would be a total of 5 intellect points you'd be spending to drop this to 0 and just make this work.
And
So not
we
even need
did
to roll.
heal, correct?
Yes, everyone did. Everyone did full up to max. That
I will
was essentially what happened
spend it.
before you did the experience with Errol, because I was not going to make you all go through that without healing up. I was going to make it hard, but I wasn't going to make you go through it without healing, because that's just cruel.
I will gladly spend all that because we all know my rolls have been rough. So, so I will spend the 5.
This is gonna be a nat 20.
Yeah, it wasn't. Actually, it was 13 though. I would have succeeded, but yes.
Okay, Kataxi, as you start doing that, number one, what does it look like when the actual device, in the midst of all of the snow and stuff, what does it look like that you're actually repairing it?
So not entirely sure what it looks like, but I'm gonna assume I can kind of hold it in my hands.
Describe it as you see fit. You're repairing it. You can describe what the device looks like and how you repair it.
Sweet. So I imagine it's a little Star Trek-y in the way that it's on the arm, like a little device you can kind of click in, click off kind of thing. Holds in her hand, and the newly melded cipher that's in her finger kind of traces over it, and you see little sparks because it was a shock ring, and kind of allows her to go into the machine a little bit, see what's wrong, see what got, effed up, if you will, when it got hit, and take out the parts that are broken, dexterously put the parts that are back in, and her mechanical hand, actually the fingers kind of spread out. I don't know if anyone's seen Ghost in the Shell, but it looks like that. And the digits come apart a little bit. Not to be gross. It looks cool. Not gross, I promise. And very dexterously goes in and replaces all the broken parts and then clicks it back together. I think that'll work. And hands it back.
You see Kadisha, presses a little button on the side of it. Faintly. You can't tell direction, and so this will be determined by Jinx, whether or not you're able to successfully pinpoint where it is. But Jinx, you feel, because you are one of the most trained at going through dangerous areas and picking up on details like this, you hear the faintest bink, bink, bink. There's almost like a beacon noise of something somewhere out there. So this will go down to you, Jinx. This is a difficulty 5 task. Perception. How are you going to approach this?
Could I juice up the doohickey? Would that do anything?
You would have to find the original one to actually do that, and by the time you find the original one, you'd have found Zeke anyways. But good idea.
How am I going to approach this?
Can I offer my scan at all? Or my perception?
And my shock.
Perception. You have my scan. No.
Basically, what I'm asking Jinx is, so you have a Jinx, so you have a task of difficulty 5. So what are you putting into this to try and resolve the task?
All right. So there's find the way.
That automatically applies effort, so that drops it to 4.
And then, I'm trained in perception and navigation.
So I'd say that drops it to 3.
Okay. Okay. And I have 2. It's an intellect task, right?
Intellect task.
Okay. So I have an edge of 2. If I put 2 effort in, that is 3 points?
Correct.
All right. Which then puts it at a 1, right?
That puts it at a 1. So you need a 3 or higher, but because Kataxi is helping you, I have to get used to that. You only need a 2 or higher to succeed on this. So pray it's not a 1, people.
8.
Good enough. It's faint, but accompanying the sound, even through all of this mess, your ears just faintly hear like someone is out there in the middle of the blizzard.
She'll immediately share that with the others. I think I hear someone.
We should. Can you lead us there?
Yep. Let's find the way.
You're so good at that. Yeah. Let's go.
You start heading over.
Yep.
And quick thing. Need to double check.
Before we get moving in a blizzard where we can barely see, can I use rope and tie us to each other so we don't lose each other?
I just
That's
assume
smart.
that happens at all times. That
Mm-hmm.
Could I also be like trying to light a path for us in front?
so
You know what? What if she has like a walking rope with little handles on it, like for the kids? That's hilarious.
There's a giant parachute that's like colored and everyone comes onto one
Yes.
side.
It's like we used to have it. It's like a one big ribbon and it has like little rings
So
on it.
hold handles. Mm-hmm.
So you all start moving. Getting through this, it's difficult. It's slow. And even with the heat being provided by the crystals, you're starting to feel sometime into this, they're starting to wear off a little bit. Like the conditions are so bad in here that things are getting extremely difficult.
Quick question. Are these Numenera?
The blizzard effect?
No, the gems. The
I,
heating
I
elements.
would say yes.
Can I boost the power with coaxing power?
I would say yes.
Yeah, booster function of machine so operates at one level higher than normal for 1 hour.
What is the point cost for it, or is it
2 intellect points.
you'd have to do that for each thing? But you have an edge.
I have edge of edge of 2 and intellect.
Oh yeah, then you could do that for all of them, and you can buy yourselves 1 more hour. Because if you didn't do this, I was about to ask for a might task roll from everybody.
No. Yeah, I will
We
definitely.
don't do that here.
No, we don't do that here. No, it's fine.
I don't even go here.
Don't even go here. Yeah.
So
I will boost all the gems.
So you see, it's slow, but with the boost, you're able to push through another hour, and you're starting to wonder if after a certain point, maybe Jinx didn't hear, or maybe didn't really hear anything. And then I will say, Enoch, your foot hit something. And,
Oh my good lord.
and you look down and you see starting to be almost entirely covered over by the snow. Looking a little bit this is a treat for you, Alex. If you know what Mahershala Ali looks like, Zeke's a little bit more like that now. He's kind of aged into a fine. I'm gonna put it this way: the man is fine.
Of course. I mean, hello.
He's a nerdy ass
Look at the
motherfucker who has no
material.
riz and no charisma whatsoever. But the man is
Doesn't need it.
doesn't need it. The man looks
clearly.
fine. Like he definitely has like what would be a very well maintained and trimmed beard that is currently has just snow starting to set into it. Like half of his face is covered in snow, and you just hear very faintly him moaning, like he's freezing right now.
Oh, honey.
I'm gonna give him my gem that I just boosted.
Okay.
And just like shove it in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get him up. How is he? I need to heal him or something.
Kataxi, the moment you put the crystal into his hand, the cold overtakes your body. I need a difficulty 3 might task from you.
I have no edge in this.
So you need
Does Kataxi have
Foiled
heating
danger?
components, and would I be able to overclock those?
I'm
That's a
half
question.
machine for the record.
You are half machine. So the possibility is yes, but I would have to make this hard solely because not because it's difficult for you to do this, but it's difficult for you to do this and not
Safely.
hurt Kataxi.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I feel like this is gonna be very dangerous. But
So
I can't put 4 levels of effort into this.
But I can try to foil the danger.
okay, yeah.
Oh,
You
foil
would-
danger. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
in that case, okay, so
That's way safer.
okay. I have a question.
okay, yes.
Would overclocking Kataxi's components qualify as something akin to healing in that it is fighting off frostbite?
Would
I'm not gonna
overclocking
lie.
Kataxi's
Let
components...
me cook though.
I want to be clear. I want to be clear when I say
Let
the
them
problem is
cook.
cooking it.
Let them cook.
I let y'all motherfuckers cook on so many goddamn points.
Very true.
I've heard hedge
Last
magic.
section.
I've allowed hedge magic to allow you to move to see through a full-on blizzard. I think even
That's
this
true.
is stretching it. I
And
love
that's
you
true.
all, but no. Mom says no.
Okay, that's fair.
Dad. No, I'm just
Here,
kidding.
here's the thing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm listening. Yes.
Also, I've only just noticed the chat saying Stefan or
Stefan.
Stefan.
Stefan Urkel.
So,
Stefan.
Would overclocking Kataxi do anything to Katarina? Or like that sort
I
of...
think here's the deal. I would let you do this, but it wouldn't be about overclocking Kataxi. It would be about trying to see if you could get more out of the crystals to go for more than one person. This would still be difficult. I would probably put this at least a 4 or 5 difficulty to try and do
Easy.
this.
That's easy.
Okay.
It's nothing.
Then I will put it at a difficulty 5 might task. This is a matter of your pure force of will and focus.
Fuck me.
That was it. I'm assuming.
Can I just save her with foil danger?
You also can do that.
It just
Okay,
costs me 2
everybody.
points.
I'm gonna do something really dangerous and potentially deadly to all of Jinx just watched.
Jinx, can you help me?
It's like foil danger. She's gonna just like yank out a blanket and throw it around her.
You basically are able to prevent this.
This is gonna work. This has to work.
I'm getting very bad glimpses to when this did not work.
Quiet, Kataxi. You don't remember jack shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just get a bad feeling. Please don't do that.
So Airless doing the math. It's like ching 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 ching, and there comes the blanket. Oh.
So here's the deal. You do not have a lot of time. Like, you need to get out of here very quickly. But
so we have 2 hours.
So here's the thing. The moment Enoch, if you want to heal Zeke, spend what you need to do that. The moment you do, it's definitely one of those like
Oh, Jesus H. Christ. Okay.
Important question. Who's Jesus H. Christ?
Look,
why?
Baby, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, whoever you are. Can't see jack shit in here. Oh, and you just he's just like, honey, it's your great grandkid. It's like, what? I'm sorry. It's like, we'll explain it when we get out of here. No. Like, there shouldn't be more than one of you here right now. This is a bad idea. This is very bad. And then you start hearing from around you. Almost like tentacle like whips are coming out of the ground.
I would like to scan those.
So
what the hell is that? Yes.
So you I would say with scanning, because it gives you a baseline read of the creature as well, right? Do I remember that first scan?
Yes, and information. Let me look up the very specific part in this big chunk of text. You might learn that the creature standing before you is a mammal with a small brain. Any other things that the GM deems I should know? Scanning a creature or object always reveals its level. You can also learn facts that GM feels pertinent.
So the moment you start doing this, you note 2 things. Number
Mm-hmm.
1, there's 2 of these things.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 2,
Mm-hmm.
these things are a level 4 creature,
That sounds bad.
and the reason that Zeke was panicking is that these creatures are drawn by heat.
Oh, that's worse.
So
Okay.
a collection of you suddenly appearing in the same spot has woken both of these things up. As you start also around you start hearing the sound of what sounds like ice beginning to like crack. As I'm gonna be honest, I cannot find in the book what the original description for these things are, aside from it saying that it has 5 massive tentacles. So what I'm gonna give y'all is, if y'all have ever seen a nautilus shell, the way that kind of thing looks like. I forget what the starter first gen Pokemon is called, Amatite or Ammonite. I forget what.
Ammonite?
Yeah,
Oh, the like little shell guy.
the little shell guy.
Yeah.
Except imagine a fucking horrifying sci-fi monster eldritch horror version of that. Just 2 of them begin to
With
defrost.
the little eyes still.
No. The eyes are
Oh,
not 2
no.
eyes. There are 12 eyes on each of them.
I'm going to very quickly scream the information that I just heard or, picked up on.
You have 2 of these around you.
I'm screaming it faster?
What are you doing?
I am going to. How many of the crystals are there? Is it? There's just the one.
It's just
One per.
It's
Oh,
1 per person. Which one of you is having?
actually -1 because we gave one to Zeke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone but
Yeah.
Kataxi has a crystal right now.
Could I basically zap across, supercharge this crystal, and then try to explode it so it's a huge amount of heat that they're focused on?
I would say yes. This would probably a speed task. This is more about finesse, about trying to get this correct. And I'd say it's difficulty 4 because these creatures are 4. So this is a matter of, can you convince them to leave you alone long enough to get through this?
Okay.
And
I'm
it's
going
really
to
only going to work for one at a time, because the other one is still going to
You know what? If it's only going to work for one at a time, I'm just going to hit them really hard, I think,
Okay.
is what I'm going to do.
As both of these creatures are waking up, on either side of you, they are both in immediate range of everybody. Everyone takes 2 points of damage immediately.
From what pool?
I'm going to say this is going to be Might Pool, because the moment these things wake up and are in immediate range of something, you feel a penetrating aura of cold that is literally leeching the heat off of every one of your bodies. Also, while you're in immediate range of these things, every task you do will be hindered by 1 step.
Okay.
Should I just hit this thing really hard? Should I just try doing that?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Correct.
If I were to sever one of the tentacles, would that count for my successive attack feature?
I'm going to say no.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair.
Real quick question. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I can make an explosion of energy somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Is there a way, okay, listen, can we 1-2 them or something and make them break off in 2 different directions and fuck off to someplace else?
Could we try to get them to fight each other?
Potentially,
that's a good idea.
all of these are going to be
Mhm.
at bare minimum a difficulty 5 task now while you're in immediate range of them. Until you get away from them, every task you do is 1 step harder.
Okay, hit them.
My question was going to be: are they Numenera or magic or machine in any way? Either one.
No. No,
Like when I
these are-
scan
these are-
their creatures?
They are full on. These are just, the book literally describes them as entities of exotic biomineral that freeze motionless for years, if not centuries. These things have been asleep for decades at
Yeah.
least.
I was
Well,
just curious.
I'm just gonna
my-
hit it really hard, is what I'm gonna do.
I
So
love that
that's
solution.
Difficulty 5 right now. It's 4
5.
and then to 5 because you are within their field.
-1 because I have small weapon.
So 4.
I'm gonna spend the 4 levels of effort to bump it up. I'm gonna do aggression, so that'll bump it up. So this is difficulty 3, and this is just in like default action at this point. I'm like turning my hand into electricity. I'm also going to spend 1 XP to activate. Basically, if I can attack up to 3 creatures in the same area. Yeah, so that's going to be a difficulty 12.
Well,
Or I need to roll a 12.
Well, I thought it
Well-
was 3.
well,
so it's
so
9.
you.
Oh,
you're
no,
spending the
difficulty
effort for
9.
damage or to reduce the difficulty, just a
For
clarification.
damage.
Okay, so you already had 2 knock. You had small
Small
arm.
weapons and aggression. Knock it down.
Yeah, so that would be a 3. So you need a 9 because it's times 3.
Oh, and I also, because I'm tier 2, I have a training in small weapons. So that bumps it down.
Yeah,
another
so
10.
it's 2. So you need a 6 or higher in order to
Oh.
land this.
And I would be landing it on both of them.
Let's see.
Does an 18 do it?
An 18 does it. Jesus Christ! And that
I
also
think
does.
do a bonus.
Yeah, I was like, don't you
damage?
get cool shit
Yeah,
from
you
that?
get 2 additional damage to it. What is your total damage for doing this?
So that's 12, and then plus 3 for shots. That's 15. Plus 4 from the weapon itself, which is 19. Plus 1 for being a glaive because I get an automatic plus
20.
1 to all my melee. Plus 2 for an 18 to both of them.
That's 22 damage that kills both of them immediately.
What?
Oh,
I want to be clear. These things have armor and have 12 health apiece. You just hit so goddamn hard.
What's their armor?
3.
It ain't no more. So it don't matter.
Does Enoch and
Can I-
Ezekiel say
This is
that
why I
same
don't
time?
do fights in the system anymore, Noelle. This is why I'm mainly focused on the RP aspect, and you don't get that many fights. Nothing can actually live
Yes.
with you.
How I
You
do
made a
this.
broken character.
Please describe it. I want to hear
Yes,
it
I
personally,
wanna
but
hear this.
yeah.
Describe it.
These things crack the ice, and as the ice cracks open, through those cracks, you see 2 bolts of lightning going, and you don't see Aerowen anymore as she splits into 2 bolts of lightning that hit between every one of the tentacles, zapping across, travel up, out their heads, reunite in the middle into one person who falls to the ground in full superhero landing pose.
Excellent. So,
And says, "Don't mess with my family."
Oh, stop
Wow.
it!
well, don't mess with your family in Cataxi, technically. Sorry.
Wow!
Doesn't get
Wow!
so angry at God?
Taxi just leaves? I don't know. She just like
You're new here.
gets
You don't
in the
even go
snow
here.
and get the fuck out of
Wow!
here.
Not you don't
You're
even
new.
go here.
You don't even go here. Trix even said you killed your
Man,
you killed her
I
best
gave up
friend.
my
I-
gym for Ezekiel.
say,
I'm picking his
I
ass
s-
up with Enoch right now. Like,
I
damn.
thought that those things probably had like 50 HP, which is why I
No.
did.
No, that's not why. No, here's the thing. There would be more. They would have higher health and be more. Actually, most groups, this is what the book directly tells me, can do only about 10 points of damage a round. Whatever you have done in your build is either wrong or very, very broken.
We talked
and
this
niche.
over.
We talked this over, and I
It's
don't think it's
all
wrong.
rules is written.
Rules is written. This is bullshit, and I'm here for it. So here's the thing: Errol just fucking splits these things in two and destroys them. The moment after that happens, though, with both of these creatures being essentially just lightninged to death, the entire ground begins shaking. Because, as a quick reminder, everybody, this sector is blizzards, tsunamis, and earthquake measurements.
Oh.
So,
can
before
do
you do anything,
something?
Kataxi,
because I'll spend an XP for it.
the ground beneath everybody begins to shake and erupt violently. I need a speed task difficulty 4 from everybody.
Difficulty 4.
Okay.
Difficulty
Let me
4?
see.
Difficulty 4.
I
That's
can
good
only
spell
fall
exactly.
danger on one of y'all.
Okay.
Would I be able
So-
to grab Enoch and Bolt Rider away from like?
I would say so, yes. I would say
Cool.
you could take one person. And Jinx, technically, if you can pass this, Jinx, I know you have foil danger, so you could spend that and bring Kataxi along with you.
Wait, but we don't have Enoch and Khadijah.
Screw Zeke and Khadijah.
Yeah, that's what I was just
going
thinking. Like,
have
oh
to
no, my
do
grandparents.
is spend an XP to advantageous malfunction, because I'm assuming this is a Numenera device of some kind.
I would say yes.
That's what I was going to try to do. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what will happen.
Yep.
Just around your area, it will malfunction, and the land does not violently like shake and erupt around you. Unfortunately, it's not enough to cover everybody, but Errol has.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Errol can already cover Enoch.
Yeah, and then if Jinx can save herself, could I cover Khadijah and Enoch and just do 3 people?
Here's the thing: Khadijah immediately grabbed not Enoch.
Sorry,
Zeke,
Ezekiel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you watch as all of the ground begin to erupt around her. She moves out of the way, and as
she
land,
phases.
as land begins, it literally there are spires of rock that start about to puncture through to hit her and Zeke. You see her like holding on to him, and they're both phasing through it, and she's like struggling to like pull him through all of it. But no matter what, Vivi, I still need a roll from you because Errol's managed it. Vivi, I need for Jinx. So this is difficulty. It's 4 on speed.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think climbing is going to help me.
Well,
any
okay,
kind
while
of
she's
form.
thinking about that, if it was only going to save me, I wouldn't have done it.
That's fair.
Okay.
So, 4 you said, right?
Difficulty 4, which means you would need 12 to pass.
Okay. Would my survival knowledge help me?
I would say yes. I would say you've probably experienced some sort of natural disaster at some point and dealt with having to manage it. So I would treat that as acceptable. You brought down to a 3.
All right. And then I have 1 edge, which means I have to spend 4 points to bring it down to a 1.
Yes, that would be correct. Because it would be 3, which would drop down to 2, and another 2, so it would be 4. So 4 from speed would let you bring this down.
And that is an 11.
It is extremely dicey for a moment. Like whole bits of ice are just puncturing up from the ground, and as the ground around you covered in frost and ice because the blizzard is still going on, you all manage to get out of the way, and then you start hearing from the ground beneath you more of these entropic entities. And this isn't like a few of these things. We're talking like a dozen or more.
We gotta get out of here.
I can take them.
I'm sure you can, baby, but
Okay.
you don't have to.
Not to be a butt, but I didn't use XP and I didn't roll. If you
No,
want me to just
because
go ahead and use the XP to do it, then I can just leave it.
No. You can keep the XP.
I spent 2 points to save you with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I did the foil danger, so I grabbed you with me.
Okay. Whee! Never mind. We're done. Get the hell out of here.
Enoch, you just watch Zeke just like very struggling to holds up his hand, and you just hear him shout out, "Computer, reset defensive protocol, return to central platform now."
Oh,
And
yeah.
you see him, it like he moves his hand almost like he's turning a contraption in midair,
Uh-huh.
and it is like a whirl of wind creates an orb around everybody. And very similar to the water ones you just experienced. Immediately, just this time, it's not pleasant. It's you were just shot, like it feels like being shot put just straight forward, like someone pushed you very violently, but you all land a little worse for wear. Yeah, definitely in that kind of stage of how bad it is. Like you get the worst kind of whiplash possible. But
Oh,
you land back at the
Jesus.
central
I'm
platform.
old. My bones, man.
Oh, Zeke's just like getting up. You and me both. Oh.
Listen, how are you feeling?
Shitty. That's probably a good starting point, but hi.
Hi. Good to meet you in person.
Good to meet you too. I'm glad I have proof that I wasn't just hearing things for some odd amount of years.
This is shitty circumstances to meet under, but you know, hello and everything. I mean, I know.
You just see
You do too.
Khadijah's eyes rolling when he's looking at essentially his great grandkid. He's like, "You look good. I have good." Just like, it's like, this is my man. This is who I've chosen to be with.
Yes, and I'm so glad.
So, not that I'm not grateful, but what brought you here?
You did.
Oh,
You left me a present. I came to say thank you.
like he finally notices the like solar like knife glove that you have.
Yeah, she pretty.
Oh, good to see. He like looks around. Pleasure to meet you all. I'm Ezekiel. I used to go by Ezekiel Thomas, but it's first names are usually better. I don't really care for my surname that much.
Felt I'm anonymous as well. Like, yeah.
Just sort of does like a bro fist, like, yeah, you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get it.
feel me.
Like he looks over and he's like, he like acknowledges Errol, and then he looks over and he sees Kataxi.
Hi.
Hi.
Glad you're okay.
Yeah. What brings you here?
They said they needed help.
You're very chipper. So, which version are you on now?
I don't understand the question. I think she leans over to Jake's like, I was feeling like happy 2 seconds ago, and now I'm really confused.
Yeah, we're all kind of confused, but I think it's 11.
She says 11.
This one is like today
Did you
new,
know
by the
about
way.
your reiterations on last view? Why don't you know
What?
about it this time? Don't listen
The
to me.
more questions y'all ask her, the worse like the facial expression because like ha! Like like just the real confusion was
Like you
Would
can't
I
happiness, right?
would I
sorry.
be able to get any sort of a vibe by like just sort of getting a vibe from what the electricity is like in there?
That is such. Look, I think that's a cool idea, but I feel like that starts getting into like invasion of personhood to like, start doing that. Feels like lightning gives me sight beyond sight kind of level.
You know, I thought it couldn't hurt to ask, but apparently it can hurt me to ask. So
But I'll give you this. Y'all would see like number one, the new part. So she has a new mechanical finger essentially. And then the stop it, all of you. And then all of like the right hand that she has, all the mechanical parts are glitching out a little bit, which was not seen before. Even when you first met her, at whatever iteration she was at.
That's definitely
Okay.
do you know
Can-
any way that we could help? Or
I'm okay.
Yeah, and you also see once again Khadijah put up a hand and like walk over to Zeke and just sort of, honey, she's a new one, real fresh. She's not gonna know. Why don't we all go check in on Huey?
Yeah.
I don't know how much information and you see Zeke sort of take over Khadijah. I can cover it. I assume you've gotten into some of the records from the first site if you know about this one.
Just a few.
Well,
Mostly, I remember what I was told. I mean, it's not every day that you get to talk to an ancestor, you know?
yeah,
That's the kind of shit that I would remember.
fair enough. So Huey is technically also my husband. Khadijah was initially just sort of our birth parent for our kids. But
Oh.
we sort of evolved this, and you see he looks very sheepish saying all of this. Like he's kind of he's both impressed and embarrassed at his own actions of being like, I kind of ended up making it 3-person marriage, kind of. So Khadijah's also my wife. Huey's my husband.
Nice.
It's a thing. Khadijah's just like, why are you still embarrassed about this? We've been married for like 40 years.
It's
You know, it's kind of a thing.
Is it? Because I don't give a shit. I think that's perfectly normal. You gotta get over yourself, man.
Y'all have a very different sense of normality.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I can control lightning, and Enoch can do all sorts of stuff, and Kataxi over here is like mostly machine at this point. So I feel like normal,
And Jinx
we're
can
cooler.
find like
We are
any,
cooler than normal.
right?
Yeah.
Jinx can find anything anywhere. It's really cool,
All of the
actually.
See,
time.
I wasn't going to
And
mention
always
Jinx
has
because I
juice
feel like that's all
boxes.
just sort of implied because Jinx is just the coolest in every way.
Absolutely.
That's true.
And I think like watching Ezekiel, Khadijah, and then Enoch all like banter together, Kataxi just has her head on Jinx's shoulder, just like, oh, this is so nice. This makes me happy.
It is. This is a happy time.
Yeah.
We needed this.
Me too.
But yeah. Why don't I take you over to Huey? Well,
And
like you see him starting to interact with the interface, and he's like, oh, it looks as though I don't have official security clearance anymore. It's been replaced by, and like sort of turns the interface around, and it shows like your name written there. Huh. We need to fix that if we keep going with this.
I mean, I guess you can take it back. That's fair. It is. You did build it,
Here, I'll give you the command to get to the Nexus core.
Ooh.
Just say computer implement Unity protocol.
Okay. Computer implement Unity protocol, please.
And you watch as sort of enclosing the central platform now, like in an orb, is aspects of lightning, aspects of wind, and rock and ice. And it looks like for a moment like it's all going to solidify and you all get turned, like it's going to become like a dark room where no light is going to be present. And then almost entirely like a complete replica of the first research site, you are back in in another Nexus core, where in the center is a man floating, much like the other individual from the first research site was. This one, for those interested in what he looks like, he looks, if you go look up Andre Holland, who played the love interest of the main character in the movie Moonlight, he looks very much like that. He has sort of warmer kinds of reds to like brown toned skin. He has facial hair all around, very light, but it looks as though it's maintained. Very curly, deep black hair, like just a massive curls. But it looks as though he's maintained it very well, and it looks as though he's in much of the same researcher like outfit that everyone else is in here, but he's floating. And there's a moment where for all of you, it feels like, well, this is going to be kind of a repeat of what we had over there. Someone displaced from time.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be kind of a repeat of what we had over there.
Anyway. I was curious. I was like, oh, that's why they said take him to Huey. Like, because Huey is stationary. Okay, I get it. I don't know. No.
When Huey is made aware that Zeke and Khadijah are present, in contrast to the first research site, he breaks away from the core and he walks down. You're back. Oh my God, I'm so glad that you're back. Oh God, trying to maintain this thing has been a pain.
How did you do that?
Wait, who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Enoch.
Hi.
I'm y'all's grandkid?
Okay, that's
kind of. But a few decades removed, you know?
Okay, that's going to take some explaining, but I've been testing for the past few days a new development we're working on, something we found through researching things here, that we might have found at least a partial substitute for keeping someone fully in the Nexus core. And we might even actually be able to bring somebody back from it.
Oh. Like bring them out so that they're whole again?
Yeah. So bring them. Well, I mean, and you probably don't understand what the hell I'm talking about, but like, there's sort of folks who, well, at the first research site, we had people who chose to stay behind and sort of, in a way, power it indefinitely.
We saw.
Oh,
I know what you mean.
Oh,
yeah,
so you met
that's
Fury and you met Civil and all of them.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
really great.
They're really cool.
Yeah,
folks.
Yeah, so we've been working for so long. Zeke's actually been the main one behind this. He's been trying to work to see if we could actually get a replacement for them in some ways.
Okay. So what's T? Why are they not self-sustaining?
A lot of it comes down to power source and a few other things, but so far from what I've been able to manage with just one person in there and some powering with some pieces of the gloves that we have had here on site before, we might have some developments. You're looking at Huey, by the way. While he looks extremely happy, his body looks thrashed. Like, I honestly, I'm really glad y'all came. I think I probably would have been stuck in there like everyone else before, and it would have been worth it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really glad y'all got here.
Wusa. It's okay. Let's not go back in there until we have an actual solution, though.
Yeah. I should be able to put it on some emergency power for a bit and keep the whole thing going. But yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we all sit down and Zeke can introduce me to everybody. I assume all friends and oh hey, this looks over at Zeke. Is this Katarina?
Kataxi. She's our friend.
Oh, right. Got it.
The
Yeah.
moment he walked out of there, Kataxi's face just fell. She's been just staring at him like just confused. I just feeling really devastated. And she's struggling. Like you can just see the mechanical parts are freaking out right now, especially since he said that he just walked out.
Taxi?
I don't know why, but I feel really terrible.
He's gonna give her a hug.
Yeah.
Errol gives her a hug too.
Yeah. Poor baby. It's okay.
You can just walk out of it?
No, I didn't just do anything. Honestly, this has taken decades, maybe probably centuries at this point. I've lost track of time. We've been working for ages. We've been looking for alternative sources to try and act as a nexus core for so long, and we think we're really close to something. It might take maybe another few decades if we look at all the gloves a bit more in detail, but
isn't there, I don't know, baby, what sort of power do you need that can't be replicated? Like what I don't understand.
Also, the gloves are kind of
Awful.
gone.
They're fucking awful.
They're awful and they're gone. It's a two double-edged.
Maybe I need to sit down and we need to hash all of this out.
Please.
But does anyone have snacks?
Why don't I go and start?
Your machine pouches.
And I
Please.
think Kataxi's just gonna walk right past them up to the computer. And I'm almost like almost like a mechanical way, like this is just what she does. She's gonna reach down her leg, take out the memories that were supposed to be marked for Research Center 3, because that's just her programming. Insert a few and just tell them, look at one of them, just you should play it. And if they do, it's the adventures of when she met Enoch. And all the past things that we've just done. The whole time she's known Enoch, basically. For them to watch.
Oh, you see Huey sort of reacting. That's Hey, hun. Like when the viewing is done. Hey, hun. Sort of talking to Gataxi. Why don't I go make us all something? All right? You should sit down. We should probably talk out some details, okay?
Okay. So that's my mission.
And that is where we are going to go to break, folks, for about 10 minutes, because I've wanted to land on that specific moment before we went on to break. So, everyone, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Go get hydrated. Go take your meds if you haven't already. Go scream into the abyss, if as Torin, I think, probably will need to do, and probably a few of us, actually. And we'll see you all real soon. Hello there, everybody. No one ever wants to know what the hell we were talking about right before we went on because, good God, I already want to forget that happened. Anyways,
I
welcome.
cannot believe you said those things.
I said nothing of the sort. You shut your mouth. Anyways, welcome back, everybody, to the second half of our finale of Numenera Aerowen, a series that has been going on for the past 9 weeks, and this is week 10 for our final episode in Memoriam. Our group, right before we went to break, managed to make it to the Nexus core of this research site that they have been traversing through with so much danger to themselves, managed to remove a glove, 2 gloves, in fact, from our fantastic Errol, and now have arrived in the Nexus core where the entire group has witnessed someone who had been present in the Nexus core step out of it entirely. A timekeeper has actually moved entirely out of the Nexus core and seemingly regained full sentience and action in the world. This has had a noticeably dramatic effect on at least one member of the party, and so the group is now taking time to sit down and talk and process this. Notably, very similar to the other research site, there is an archives room, multi-sensory, multi-modes of the same sense being processed, but this one seems to have a few additional amenities in it, notably a kitchen, in which you all watch as Huey is actually taking the time and working on. If I could, let's go with this one. Essentially, ropa vieja. So essentially, we're going Miami Cuban food here, folks. This is what we're going for. So usual the rice and beans kind of like platter, some nice fried plantains. Like taking some good amount of time. Yes, you get plantains in this world. I deem it because if I don't, then all of the Caribbean folk will be. All of the Caribbean folk will hate me. I don't want the Caribbeans angry at me.
No, you do not.
I can feel all of the Afro-Cubans being angry at me if I forget this, so I'm not even going to try. But in all seriousness, it is kind of a bit of a contrast from the previous site because you watch as well. Everyone is kind of sitting down at a table. Let's go with like a big sort of like circular table. Everyone having some chairs there, and you see that Zeke, while he's still looking pretty worse for wear, is going over and being extremely tender and affectionate with Huey. It's a moment of softness and affection that is palpable, not just between the two of them, but even occasionally Khadijah just chiming in and just fussing over the two of them. Like it almost seems like Zeke's job is to fuss over Huey, and then Khadijah's job is to fuss over the two of them to make sure that they're taking care of each other. And it is loving, it is romantic, it is warm. And you see that Huey eventually like finishes cooking and working on things and comes over and passes some plates to everyone. So before jumping into anything, what's going through everyone's mind right now?
I don't. I think Enoch is focusing on Zeke. Because focusing on Zeke is easier than focusing on everything the hell else. Making sure Zeke is okay. Because that's what started all of this. I don't know.
Yep, Jinx was kind of wandering around the archive trying to distract herself. Yeah, trying to get excited about knowledge, but not really succeeding. So when the food comes out, she'll return to the table.
In Kataxi's head, honestly, it's just questions. everywhere. Like, mostly just the question how is just like on repeat and like screaming in her head, but mixed with curious nature because that's who she is. Why do I care? Why am I upset? What is happening? Like, who are these people? But it's increasing and overclocking as they're sitting there.
You're talking, Errol. You are muted.
Errol is just thinking, this is the song that doesn't end.
God damn it!
How the hell?
Copyright strike.
Errol is extremely worried about everyone right now, but she is confident that they're going to get through it together. Whatever happens.
Huey, you get the sense Huey is probably the most sociable of the three, and you see him like trying to start conversation with everyone. He's just like, "So I picked out this recipe for a while ago. It's not something I've actually had the occasion to make because it feels like the kind of thing you share with a lot of people, but not all the researchers really that interested in trying meals that differ from the usual. Okay, y'all don't really care about this. Sorry.
Huh?
I didn't want to jump into difficult stuff until folks felt fed. I've always had the impression it's easier to talk when everyone's fed and feeling comfortable rather than trying to go into it when on an empty stomach. But I guess Zeke can take over here, and if anybody has any immediate questions, feel free to direct it to any of us, and we'll do what we can to answer it.
Jing's just shoving food in her mouth. Like, no, we're not talking.
What's happening?
I think Enoch. I don't know who he's directing this question to. Probably all of them. Anybody. What sort of power do you need to power this Nexus core if that's what you're working on? And if you're the timekeeper for this Nexus core, if you're what's powering this thing, how long do you have to stay in there?
So Zeke could cover more of the specifics on what the actual project entailed and how it started. It's Huey talking. I can kind of cover at least my experience of it. So from what I can say from direct experience, I've been in there multiple times. We've experimented at different points with trying to come up with an alternative core power source for the research site. Kind of taking some notes from what happened at the other site and seeing if we could improve upon it, namely not leaving people stuck there and not leaving people necessarily as repositories for memories. We found that sometimes, at least in my view, the kinds of stories that have to be stopped in order for that kind of thing to function as it is, it didn't seem worth the risk anymore, considering what happened to. And he sort of trails off, but you get the impression he's trying not to look directly at Cataxi.
Why was any of that ever acceptable as a cost for y'all?
Zeke sort of pipes in. So it's less that it was an acceptable cost and more that it was what we had available in terms of technology at the time. In the midst of pretty much the day of Black Sun, a lot of us were just trying to survive. A lot of us were trying to figure out how to maintain something for the future. Or rather, Katerina was the main one trying to spearhead that. It
Desperate
was
measures.
pretty much. It was a means of keeping the
Okay.
place going. It was a means of trying to. I think it was a mixture of it was the best solution we had at the time, and it was also the one that I think for a moment she wanted to convince herself that it was the easiest to bear. She had a habit of wanting to put the hardest jobs on herself. And
None of this is sitting right in my spirit, man.
well, I guess you got that from me because it didn't sit right for me either. He turns to look at you, Gataxi. I saw the first version of you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, maybe you don't, but I'm sure Katerina does.
Every time her name gets mentioned, it's just like a. I don't know who that is.
It's you. At least previous version of you.
Is this Zeke talking to me?
This is Zeke talking.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, yeah. Just wanted to double check. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can keep saying that all you want, and I believe you. I don't think you don't. You do. But Katerina does. And I saw you the first time all of this happened. I was there. I was there right after it happened. You told me the reason that it happened. That as far as you knew, the stories of some kids from the people that you loved most, that you cared about most, had a chance of ending, and that broke you.
Y'all are seeing oil pour now. It's just coming out of everything. Yeah.
See, I don't.
I know this is rough to hear. I can't make this any easier, though. All I can tell you is that the moment that the day that happened, I made it my goal that you wouldn't have to deal with that again. That no one else would have to deal with that again.
All I want is for people to be happy. That's it.
I know. And all I wanted, all of us wanted, like sort of gestures to Khadijah, gesture to Huey. We wanted you to be happy for once.
You don't even know me. And I am happy. I have Jinx. Errol and Enoch seem to like me okay. They're my friends. Fine.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not fine. I'm happy.
You said fine first. You didn't say
Nope.
happy first.
I
You
said happy
fine.
first.
You
I
said
said
fine.
happy. I said happy, and then I said fine.
It was a quick check-in from GM to player. Are you
Yeah.
okay with me pushing more, or do you want
I
that
am
to be stopped?
okay, and as long as everyone else is okay.
Are we all present at this?
Yeah.
This is happening at the table. This isn't like some separate room. This is happening at the table. Like Zeke is trying to just go through this, and he's not trying to be like harsh about it. This is the firmest he's been, but it's clear from his tone and everything, he's not being harsh. He's just trying to tell her like what happened.
See, you're hurting her.
Anyways, So I made it my goal that Katerina would not have to deal with the repercussions of this, or at least the rest of us wouldn't, and that for once someone might care about her story, about her happiness going on. Because despite taking all of this time and worrying about the legacy of all of these people, the love that she had for these people, the love that she had for everybody, for all of these research sites, for all the people who survived because of her, she was apparently fine in cutting down her own story, and I didn't want that. So we started work here on Research Site 3 to try and find an alternative. We looked into as many things as we could around Aerowen, the land below, and even the land above. And what we found were the artifacts. Khadijah and Huey were the first to discover a few of these. We had an Earth aspected one, I believe, at one point. And we had some initial experiments once we got more of them done, but those did not go well. I take it from your expressions, you've seen how bad they've gone.
I
So,
was, pretty attached to one of those.
I'm sorry. I want to be clear. We never meant for any of these things to get out. We were not aware of what was going on with any of these things, to be honest. At least not to the full extent until we even tried to examine and look at them. And I can't apologize in any meaningful way that would mean anything at this point for all that you've been through, for all that any of you have been through. All I can tell you is what we've done and how I want to try and make amends for it. But essentially, across different sections of this research site, we attempted to test out fragments of these devices when we were able to break apart a fully formed shell and see if individual components could work with the same level of energy being provided that the combination of 5 different consciousnesses would. You'd be surprised to learn that the amount of thought, feeling, and depth and complexity and variety of thought that a human mind can come up with is oddly very difficult to replicate. And given that the particular minds we used were among some of our best, it was even more difficult. But Huey here is particularly skilled in this kind of field, and you see Huey sort of pipe up. Yeah, so I attempted, admittedly to a great risk to myself, to see if we could find from the fragments, from the more fully formed pieces that we did have, to try and make something. To try and see if we could use that as sort of conduit for all of the energy remaining in the pieces, and then see if that could work as a substitute for a full collective acting as a timekeeper. I myself still had to try and be in there for a portion of time, and frankly, the first experiment, I kind of thought I was going to be stuck in there forever. But we had a success. We managed it for a few minutes, then we managed it for a few hours, and we've managed it at most for a full day now.
Can you recover in between?
Somewhat. It's pretty taxing, I'm not going to lie. And you see that there are actually, it hasn't been quite noticeable at this point, but there are faint lines all across his arms, and anywhere you see along his legs, there's scars there that it looks like there's almost like bits. If there was, you get the sense where there might be portions that looked almost like little burns, probably something time spent with a fire aspected piece of a glove. Another one where it looks like earth scrapes have like kind of hidden, like there's a long scrape, like something rocky was probably cut across it. And there's points where it looks like there is a zigzag burn mark where probably lightning has been present. It's been pretty painful, not gonna lie. And there's a lot of lingering marks, but
So, real quick, just break this down for me. You're putting on the gloves and then going in there?
no, we're essentially using them as a kind of fuel to try and substitute for a full person. We're hoping that the energy
That
from these things
Okay.
will work. Because
what if there was a person who could use the energy of the gloves?
say that again.
What if there was a person who could just use the energy of the gloves by default?
We've had a few other people try and do it on their own, who also had their own elemental expected abilities. It seems as though the problem that comes up is that part of why the gloves are working is that why the glove components seem to be working is that they have lingering remains of a consciousness attached to it. Something about them seems to, and it doesn't seem to be just one. It seems to be many forms of thought compressed into even just a fragment. So we found that trying to use these work as an adequate substitute.
So why would the solution be decades off if you guys are this close?
Because
That means you're gonna have to do this for how much longer?
probably a while longer if we want to keep testing it and see if it could get something that lasts. The biggest problem is that either we've had one of two problems come in. Either one, whatever lingering consciousness remains in the artifacts starts waking up again.
Yeah.
Process of us trying to use this. Number one, and number two, it's just not enough energy. So I'm kind of hoping with if we keep looking at the artifacts a bit longer, maybe we can find something.
Are the artifacts used up in this?
For the most part, that's why we've been
So-
having to use.
Is there
Well, and eventually they'll run out, right?
We're hoping we can get a piece that's just big enough that will last us as much time as needed to maybe find us another component.
is there any risk of the gloves that bit of consciousness reawakening? Because the gloves that I had were pretty nasty characters.
Wait, you've worn two of more than one?
Yeah, no, it was bad.
That would be the case. Any of the previous experiments we've done, even with just one, had them.
Don't no
Don't know.
no. I'm done.
That was not
okay?
your cue to pull some shit like this. But I don't. Why do you need a machine powered by consciousness and feelings? Y'all can't use solar power.
They're underneath. They're under the clouds.
That's
mean,
true.
water power.
Okay, hydroelectricity does exist. I'm just saying.
We did try before.
That's
a lot
not
of
enough
those-
power.
It's
I
not.
can literally shoot electricity out of my fingertips. There has got to be a better way than getting an evil cursed love.
I have to agree. There has to be another solution that we're not looking at, baby.
But just
I think if you guys have been looking at this for decades,
maybe you need some fresh blood.
you know, let us hope.
Are you trying to go in there?
No, God, no. But if we can we can rub some brain cells together and shit out another solution that'll keep Huey out of there, get Bashiri and the rest
I want
out
to know
of
for
their
the record. I'm
situations.
perfectly excited to be doing this kind of thing. It's painful as shit, but it's
That's
kind of
so concerning. That is
yeah.
deeply
You
concerning.
definitely see a simultaneous like head like hand to the forehead from both Khadijah and Zeke at that one. Like
I'm
no, they have a point.
excited.
We
Like, no, you are shredding gears off your life to power a building that will kill people. I get why you have it in place, but baby, there's got to be a better way. There has to be. This isn't tenable. and too many people have been lost behind this plan, which worked and was for a good purpose. I believe that. I genuinely believe y'all had good intentions, but times ain't that desperate no more. We can take a second and try a different approach.
What would happen if you let it all shut down?
What if we just move people further, like up there? There's plenty of space.
Errol,
We-
the moment you said that, Kataxi snapped up and looked at you. Like,
you do see Zeke say you do see Zeke also like snap up, but Khadijah like puts a hand on his shoulder and she says, "We have considered it as a possibility."
you're gonna shut it down?
Is it worth it to keep it going at this point?
There are a lot of years of research. There are a lot of records of people's lives, of so many things that have happened from the generations that have passed, and especially at Research Site 1, there would be considerations for the end of a few people's stories and lives.
Can we not move?
It would very much mean the end of Bashiri. It would be the end of Aeon. It would be the end of Sybil.
Okay.
No,
That's
no,
not tenable
no,
either.
no. And like Kataxi just slams her hands on the desk and just like walks the fuck off. Like very
Whoa.
overwhelmed. And there is just oil. Like I think you would even see like traces of oil on the floor. And she just fucks off. No.
Okay, so that's obviously not an option. We need a solution before whatever the fuck this is reevaluated as a whole.
We should also probably go back to Cat.
Yes.
Yeah, Jinx already on her way.
Yeah, Errol's
Okay.
heading over.
Yeah.
Katatsi.
What's wrong, baby?
Big tissue, big hanky.
The thing is, I think it's like smearing. Because like one side is tears and the other side is oil.
That's metal as fuck.
Literally.
Tears and
Right.
Oil, the new prog punk album.
The
You
two
didn't realize.
Look, look, I don't know who they're talking about, but this place, I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's too important. You can't just lose these places, okay?
Wait. Okay, breathe.
Okay.
Nobody's losing anything right now.
There's too much here.
I believe you.
There's too much here.
I know,
We're
honey.
not. I'm sorry. It was a stupid suggestion. We're not doing anything.
All hypothetical. All hypothetical.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing and touching nothing.
They looked like
No.
they wanted to, though. They run this place.
Running this place has been hard for them.
And
And
after
I'm
You
sorry,
actually
but that's
see,
just
like
the
that's the
truth.
worst, the worst expression on her face after you said that.
I'm sorry, baby.
Katatsi.
I don't want to hurt you, but it's true. We have to have another solution.
You can't hide behind thinking it's all gonna be okay.
Well, we can figure it out. Now we're all here. All the knowledge is here. We can figure this out.
Yeah. And
What we
that's
have
what
to do
makes
is
it okay.
work to make it okay. We can't just assume it's
Exactly.
gonna be okay.
We bring so much knowledge from the top that they might not have heard about down here.
And
yet.
again, I can shoot lightning from my fingertips, and that's gotta be useful somewhere.
Yeah.
So, what you're saying is you need knowledge,
Yeah, I think that would be maybe the most useful resource right now.
and that would help. the most.
What are you thinking?
I just want to help.
We know.
And having a lot of information, and a group of people working on it, the more knowledge you have, the more you can maybe figure out which way to go and how to make things work.
I think she's gonna walk up to Jinx and just grab your shoulders. So you want information?
I want everybody to be okay, and if we need information for that, yes.
She shuts down. Just everything. The
Taxi?
whole process just shuts down.
I
Oh,
run up and
no,
I'm gonna try to
Taxi.
like activate.
Jinx is probably more like holding her up.
It's gonna
Like
take
I'm
Yeah.
doing like a defibrillator type thing. Like
Oh, oh no!
Right.
Hey, go for it.
Jesus Christ.
What can go wrong? Everything.
For real.
so what does
Look,
that roll?
she's been alive for a long time for a reason. All right, shock me.
Oh shit.
If it's listen, I'm just spending whatever effort I need to do to
It's
make that work.
it happens.
Oh no.
So, Torin,
Yeah,
who wakes up?
I think. Vivi, are you holding her?
Yeah, like I caught her underneath like the arms, like whoa.
Yeah, like not letting her crumple on the ground.
Come on,
I
come
think.
on. No,
I
no,
think
no, no,
once
no.
you shock her, she just goes and like grabs you real hard, and it's just like, oh. Why does
You okay?
everything hurt me? Ugh. And she's holding and shaking on you and just
What did just happen?
Are you okay, Kataxi?
Is that?
I-
Are you Jataxi?
Are you Kataxi?
Everybody has PTSD from the last time.
I think you see her just straighten up full height and just it's the sun trying to kill me anyway, and just put a hand on Jinx's shoulder and just, if you'll need information, I will help you find information. My name is Katerina Kubuto. I was the lead researcher for all the projects here.
Do you remember us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to be
Jinx
creepy.
gonna give
but
her a hug and say,
Yeah.
all right.
I think we
Okay,
got a lot of work to do.
Yes, I think we have a lot of work to do, and we can deal with all of the emotions later.
Yeah.
Everybody for it? Aye.
You said you needed information.
And I didn't get a vote. Yeah. We can use
Okay.
You're talking pretty
First,
She looks so much older.
just first and foremost, everybody go get something on your stomach. Cause
Yeah.
ain't nobody working on a damn thing without a full belly. We'll work through the rest of the bullshit later.
Yeah. I think
I didn't.
this
Yeah,
will
back to the table it is.
stay up. This place has been up for what, 100 years, 200 years? I think it'll
A
last
million.
It's
Yeah.
a little
A
longer
night.
than that.
Yeah.
But
I think it's gonna last
You're
for
not wrong.
the hour that we do lunch, dinner. What
And
time is it?
I will say before we go back, not to be creepy, but I've been watching the whole time. Not the whole time, but important moments.
Well, it's good to have you, I suppose.
And
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
thank
I'm
you.
Errol.
I know. You did really well with those gloves.
It was mostly y'all.
No, you did it too.
Big agree.
And I think if Enoch will allow, she just walks up to Enoch and kind of touches the side of your face, and
Enoch's gonna give you a big hug.
oh, hurts a little bit. Just thank you. I'm glad to finally meet you. Ezekiel, he talked about you a lot.
He respected and loved you a great deal.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't have.
Well, you know what? They're going to be really happy to see you.
No. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want us
You
to
will.
call them?
I'll do it. It's fine.
You're not by yourself up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny. I made Kata's protocol the way I did, so that way she couldn't be alone. Not my
Yeah.
most brilliant move, but
You did really well in it.
thank you for staying with her. I know she's trying at times.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Why'd she look at me when you said that?
Let's go get dinner, y'all.
Yeah. And she gives you a real tight squeeze, Enoch.
Yeah. I think I'll hold on to you on the way out.
Thanks. I have to admit, this whole part of Kata kind of turned off the pain receptors too, so this hurts a little bit.
Yeah. I'll be gentle with you. You be gentle with me too. I got old bones, baby.
Yeah, don't we?
And our two old asses hobble the fuck away.
Errol skips over to the dinner hall without a care in the world.
There is a, as you're heading back, you are overhearing a conversation. It does seem somewhat heated, of Khadijah, like sort of like Zeke sort of being kind of short with both Huey and Khadijah. It's like, we didn't need to. Look, I know I was the one who was starting to press her, but we didn't need to bring up that idea. And it's like, well, it was something that came up in the course of the conversation. It doesn't mean that she needed to like hear it. We've done so much to try and figure out a way that this was going to work out for her, and I didn't want to give her that possibility that she thinks we would throw it away, because
I
it
think,
wouldn't be easy.
Enoch, you get a good squeeze on your shoulder, and she just kind of breaks away and just goes to Huey and her friends and grabs Huey's arms. Just gently, not like yank it, but and just kind of goes over the scars. Oh, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Katak. No. That's not Kataxi, is it? Like, Huey's got like the biggest smile on his face.
Don't smile at me after what we did.
Nah. You always got to smile on a good occasion. Smile means you get to celebrate.
We'll see.
You see Khadijah's face is a look of like awe, but also like, it's good to have you back, hon.
That's yet to be seen, but...
And you just see Zeke turn around, and Zeke's definitely an older man, but it seemed like when he was around Enoch, he was trying to carry himself, and it was genuinely had that lightness of feeling that a man who's like had so much warmth and joy just injected into his life all of a sudden. would walk, but the moment he sees Katerina, it's almost like you see actually for the first time like the lines on his face, the wrinkles, and just how heavy everything seems to have been on him. Hi.
Hey, Zeke.
Hey, Kat.
They said they wanted information.
You definitely have a lot of the information.
Yeah. Too much. You've done so well, my friend. I'm so sorry.
I haven't. I really haven't.
Yeah, you have.
No, you can't tell me that. Come on.
I just saw Huey walk out of it. Are you kidding me?
But we're not there yet. Like, Kat, how many times have you had to reiterate already?
Don't worry about it.
I gotta fucking worry about it. You don't ever fucking worry about yourself. That's been the whole fucking problem this whole goddamn time. You
I think
always
it's all of our problems. And she just kind of picks up Huey's arm a little bit. And just
don't make light of this. Like you
not
see, like
like it.
all of the composed nature he had is just you see it just cracking away. Just
Hey, friend. And she kind of like just grabs him a little bit. Not hard, but that firm but gentle, you know? I don't know if it's going to be okay, all right? But I'm willing to try, okay? I don't want to see y'all go through this. And if we can get them back, I mean, how could I not help?
goddamn fool. Just worrying about everyone else's story, but everyone else's end, about everyone else's fucking happiness. Why don't you care about your own for once? And he's just like holding on to you, and it's like there's so much anger in his voice about it.
Yeah.
So much of like not like flame fury, but like cold fury of just being so angry at you, but also like you can tell from how like soft and tenderly he's like holding on to you. It's also that sense of like at the end of the day of all of this, he really missed his friend. He really missed his good friend. I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
I
But I finally met Enoch. I've even been traveling with him. Oh, I'm so happy you got to meet him. He's really wonderful.
You see him like with a bunch of tears like going down his face. We tried, you know. We kept trying to find other power sources. Huey got close with this one. We kept looking into other ones, but every time we started to get anywhere in trying a new idea, more stuff kept coming up. More creatures broke through. The fog came back. More stuff started to open up, and it just turned into what's the priority? We try and come up with a new idea that is just going to get destroyed anyways, or we keep working on an idea we had something built into.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'm sorry I couldn't do more. I'm really sorry.
Now, who does that sound like? I don't think they're wrong. We've kept this going for a long time. Maybe it's time for someone who knows more than us. Or different than us. I'm not saying we leave. just saying they know the world differently than we do.
You see Khadijah walks up, like looking at the two of you, and there's a sense where like you see on her face just this sense of knowing that whatever it is that Zeke feels towards Katerina, she's probably never going to fully understand it, even though she's been like one of the closest supporters and help to him and doing all of this to try and keep someone from going through what Katerina went through again. It's like she speaks up and she addresses Huey and she says, there is one idea we could still try out. And you see Huey saying, wait, that one? Do you mean Project Eulogia? We never got anywhere with it. We didn't have enough components or like solar energy power to actually get it to work. Most of the stuff that we tried to use for it didn't go anywhere. Most of the codes and the understanding for it were, well, the only one who would have had any knowledge of it would have been Katerina in full.
Damn, do I know about it?
Project Eulogia is essentially it is an old idea. We're talking like undergraduate level thesis level idea as opposed to like how far Katerina's research has been. But it was an idea to try and use a combination of various elemental energies, solar power, and potentially create a containment like vessel for that energy that could then be replicated on a smaller level, that instead of providing a bigger power source, it would be multiple smaller ones that could substitute. The most difficult thing about it would be, from what was suggested in your ideas, is that essentially it requires someone to have to deal with the psychic strain of trying and get all of them to align in conjunction with one another, because it's activated by thought. Like there's first the building, then the channeling, then the actual connecting of all of them, and then the actual process of linking it to the nexus core. Because the whole thing with using the energy sources is that the reason you need a human consciousness to do it is to actually have something to direct everything. Because from the past experience, everyone that Huey and Katerina would know from talking Katerina and throughout the course of the conversation, they could never get an AI to replicate the complexity of human consciousness directing it.
No. Well. Well, let's try it.
It is a bare bones idea, and the likelihood right now is that to integrate it into the current Nexus core runs a risk. If it is not worked well enough, the Nexus core will require a full human consciousness to remain permanently in order to keep this place running.
Yeah.
So essentially, you have three possible outcomes. If you choose not to go forward with any of this and choose to close down the sites, that's one possibility. I'm not saying it's the one you take, but I'm saying...
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, Katerina's reaction is just, no.
That's one. Two, you go through the very difficult process of attempting to enact Project Eulogia, which will be a series of tasks. All of them will be high in difficulty. Like, nothing is going to be below a 4, folks. But if everything can be done successfully, there is a chance, minimal though it might be, that these could be integrated into the Nexus core and no longer require a human consciousness to be there, which would mean that if this were replicated and taken to the first research site, it could act as a replacement for the 5 people who are in there right now. Again, this would just be a prototype, and working it out here would take some time. Again, all of this comes down to time, energy, and resources, but a success here would mean it could go other places.
I mean, we've done stupider stuff.
You not lying.
I'm not lying at all. I mean, it's worth a try because it's going to take a human anyways. If we try or if we don't try.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the worst outcome, is that if this fails, Huey or someone else would probably have to be the one to be in there.
Have you guys tried linking multiple AIs?
We don't have
Same,
them.
same problem.
We didn't have them.
Also that, like, it's a question of like trying to do that as well. That could be another way to help expedite. That could be a method that that Jinx, for example, if you wanted to try and do that, to look through the records or try and see if there was a way to create something, or even just try and scavenge around the research site itself to see if there's components that could be integrated together. That idea really wasn't put forward because the development of AI to this level at this point in time, even with the it was not something that was as enabled. It was mainly for maintenance of the research facilities because they typically relied mostly on human researchers.
I mean, you gotta try, right? To
Yeah.
make things better.
I think if it looks like they're set on this idea, Katarina is going to go to Khadijah and just whisper real quick. Is there any way to get Gertrude down here safely?
Yeah, I think I can still contact her.
Okay. And she looks at Jinx like not saying anything, just
Okay.
if it's possible.
So, folks, this is going to be the last series of roles I'm going to call for this whole campaign, this whole adventure. You need a total of 4 successes across all of these to make this work for all of the components. The first one, so whoever is typing is very loud right now.
That was me. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'll mute.
It's okay. The first
Karina already working on it.
The first component is folks need to construct something.
Right. So I could go around and use my specialization in salvaging Numenera.
It's precisely why I brought it up. This would require, I'm going to say at bare minimum, Jinx, this is going to take 4 points from some kind of pool, your choice, just to even attempt this. That's just an auto thing that you have to pay because you are dealing with various dangers. You have done this a lot of your life. So you are probably one of the most capable outside of Errol who can just speed by it with lightning. But this is to get the components around the research site that can be repurposed for this. This is going to be a difficulty 5 task. This is an intellect task.
So I'm going to take the 4 points out of might. For me, that makes the most sense because it's a physical thing of her trying to get there and actually carrying and digging. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm guessing it's an intellect task.
It is an intellect task. This is you can treat this as scavenging or perception.
Okay.
Either of those.
General question: can we help on any of these with each other?
Yes, it will be. You can provide at most 1 help. You can't have multiple party members help. One of you can help. Because again, the rest of you also have to be working on your own individual
Yeah.
components to it as well.
Well, let's see. So since I'm specialized in that, so that not trained but specialized in
And that knocks it
salvaging.
down to 3.
Okay, and then because it's intellect, if I want to knock 2 more down through effort, that was 3 points. All right,
That would bring it to a 1.
all right. This is the way. 17.
First point is done. Jinx, it takes a bit. There are still creatures all throughout the research site, to the point where you have to risk pretty much several of the security rooms, because even with Enoch's access, some of the creatures are still causing stuff to go on the fritz. There is a very close moment for you where in the lightning storm area, one of the bolts of lightning nearly hits you again. But you bring back enough components that something could be constructed from this. That is 1 success towards completing this. The next part. This now needs 2 different, what I'm going to say are infusions. This needs 2 different elemental infusions of some kind. One of them, obviously, Errol can provide with lightning.
Mm-hmm.
This
Would
is
sun
going.
count?
Sun would also count.
Okay, bet.
This is going to be this is going to be either might or intellect, difficulty 6.
Okay. I have a question.
Mhm.
Would me understanding Numenera help here?
I would say yes.
Knocks it down to a 5.
That's a 5.
I can put in effort 3 times. Edge of
Knock it
3,
down
so
to a
that's
2.
okay. Yeah, I can do it too.
Okay.
And is there a way that we can help?
If one of you can come up with something to help Enoch in the process of doing this.
I mean,
Errol, if you are going to also try and do this, same deal. 6 on
yeah.
might.
That was the plan.
Okay, then you also roll for the same exact thing. We'll figure out yours in a sec.
If
Cool.
Enoch is working with machines or Numenera, I can charm machine so that they like us.
I'll let that count.
Yeah, I always charm machine.
Hey there,
brings it down.
machine. How's it going?
Like,
Up, buddy.
That brings it down to a 1.
Okay.
You need to roll
Nice.
a 3 or higher.
3 or higher.
You can still
Okay.
fail, as a reminder.
True. I got an 8 though.
The device seems to be infused partially. It's as though you feel like a fragment of yourself, Enoch, from all of the solar energy, all of the healing that you've provided, the literal warmth that you have taken to take care of other people, comes out. That care that you've provided, it's there. And the device, all of the different components seem to be shaping into something. It's not quite a defined shape yet. It still seems ethereal in form. It seems as though it's wild and chaotic and it needs something else to stabilize it. So
I placed my hand on it, and lightning, people think of lightning as chaotic, but it has like a very defined, it always strikes the tallest thing. It's looking for a ground, and I provide that.
Can I try to help Errol because I am trained in interacting with others? Would that make me be able to see like the networking and how Enoch's, warmth of interacting, you know?
let me, before I answer that one, let's see what Errol is able to get it down to first. So Errol, it's starting
I
at
know.
difficulty 6.
Okay, I'll burn. This is an intellect test, or
No, this is might.
okay, I'll burn all my might points to get it
Are you
down
dropping
to
to 0?
No, I'm dropping to 0.
Okay.
I'm saying like I'm burning all the effort I can put in.
So would that bring you down to 2? Do I have that right? Because you have 4 levels of effort you can put in. Do I have that right?
Yes.
So you need to roll a 6 or higher to pass this.
Okay. Seven. That.
And
Jesus
Let's pretty
Christ!
much just stopped. What?
Oh my actual god. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh.
I just realized the dread of what's next.
Arrow slips on a banana peel, walking over it, falls, but lands on.
Okay. Errol, as you provide the ground for this lightning, every bit of chaos and every bit of destruction that people have associated with you since you got the glove, none of that is present here. Instead, you are a foundation of comfort, actually, for those around you, still believing and still hoping, even after all the bullshit you have been through. And in doing so, the lightning that manifests, it's almost like lightning itself just is pulled from all the static electricity in the room. It combines with the solar energy, and as it begins stabilizing, it forms a heart, a crystalline heart. The last step that is needed is to connect this to the core. This is an intellect task of 7.
I'm realizing, me, Torin, that there's a flaw in this plan. It's me.
Oh no. No,
Okay,
it's
it's
okay.
fine.
We can help. We can help.
Yeah. We're gonna need it.
Yeah,
All right. Katarina.
I think we're all probably gonna try to help them. Right?
So, Katarina,
Yes.
if you are going to be the one to attempt this,
Yeah.
let's go through this. Skill
so-
1.
I am trained in Numenera.
This reduces it down to a 6.
I also talk with machines.
This reduces it down to a 5.
I can also repair as a skill.
Okay.
So that knock it down to a 4, or just nice colorful bits
It's
on
not
top.
colorful bits on top. It's two assets being provided from a certain thing at a time.
Gotcha. Okay, so what am I at? 5?
5.
I have 3 effort. I'm doing all of it.
That brings it down to a 2.
Can we help?
I have an edge of 2 in intellect. I know. I'm just saying. I'm literally. I will put everything forth that I have.
I know.
Yeah.
You're at
Because
2
I'm at
right
2.
now.
Yeah.
With all of the effort you have put in.
Which means I have to roll 6.
You need to roll a 6 or higher.
But we'll help him.
Oh,
So that's a +1.
That's true. Jinx would be helping you with this. So Jinx is your help with a +1. So you need a 5 or higher Tauren. You can do this. This is not
Remind
me
me
wishing well
what
for
is-
Katarina.
Yeah.
It's
One
all
last
been leading
question.
up to this. You have
This is
been
the way.
saving
No,
your good
that's
luck.
no pressure. It's fine. Real quick, XP usage can be towards.
Rerolls.
Thank God. Okay, that's gonna be my question. All right. What am I doing? 5. All right.
You need a 5 or
I think
higher.
you
This is a
see-
difficulty 2.
Yeah, and I think you'll see Katarina pick it up with her mechanical hand, and the fingers at every knuckle pop out again. And in a way, it's lucky because she's half machine now, and her brain fires much faster than it did before to try to wire this in. And we're just Out of
That's
character.
cool.
Dice gods. Please. It's been 10 episodes. You've hated me
Hey,
this entire time.
Dice
Just
gods,
be nice to me now.
Guaranteed not 20. Let's go.
I will sacrifice Errol's eternal soul to you.
Don't you
Never
dare.
mind.
She will absolutely not let that happen. All right. And as her hand goes up, we think it'll work with a 7.
Yay!
I'm gonna throw up.
This is the night of the sevens, the lucky sevens. Ooh.
My
And I
party.
think as her hand goes in, she is just crying, knowing it's gonna work.
Folks, there is a brief moment. Katerina, every single moment of every loss that you have had, not just actual, every loss everything you have perceived as a loss is going through your head. There is everything in that moment, every failure, every person whose story you think you have let down, every weight you have carried that you feel you haven't done enough for. There is a moment where your hand reaches it into the core, and it looks as though it's connecting itself to the center of the core, but the connection, even with all of your effort, is not happening strong. It's not connecting strong enough. If folks are okay with me doing this bit, you then feel Enoch's hand on yours. You feel Jinx's hand on yours. You feel Errol's hand on yours. A hand that probably is in your arm and your body is in a lot of pain.
Yeah. And I will try to use coaxing power. Like, I'm going to do everything, literally everything that Katerina can do. Coaxing power, give it more power, use my brain to talk with this machine. Like, you will do this. I will do charm machine to make this my friend. Like, I will spin every advantageous malfunction, everything to make this work.
As all four of your hands reach forward and connect with the heart, you feel as though you glimpse at infinity, at every single sense of thought, of movement, of permutation of electricity, of wind, of water, of earth in this place, as though your consciousness is spread out far and wide. And as there's a moment where it almost feels like you can stay, like you can just stay there and stop. And if it's okay for me to say this, Torin, I think probably for you, Katerina, you feel the most like I can just stay here and it'll be fine, right? No one else has to have your mistakes anymore.
Yeah. I think Katerina in her mind just says, I'm going to get them out, even if it takes me.
You hear, all of you hear in your minds, 5 voices reply and say, not this time, hon. We'll see you soon. And you're pulled out. The core is affixed to it, and it's working.
Nice.
As we are at time for the finale of our session, I'm just going to do a relatively short epilogue of these moments to tell folks where we leave everyone off. But Enoch, Zeke just looks at you with such happiness and pride and a look of just thank you. It's almost like if a dad could have the proudest look of his son on his face, just saying thank you for caring about my friend, and in a way, also saying thank you for caring about me for all that we've been through. And he just holds on to you. Errol, there's everything about this. You did something really great. You protected someone who you cared about, who you love. You did something really wonderful today. Jinx, your friend is here. Not quite how you remember her, but she's here. You helped bring her happiness she hasn't had in years. And whether you want to approach that or not, your mother is also here. There's definitely a look of, I think, a flashback to a few sessions ago of you having that awkward kind of, I forget what the phrase is, the awkward turtle kind of expression both of you are having on your faces, but there's a look of like just running over to give you a hug, whether you take it or not. It's up to you to decide.
Yeah, she wouldn't even have noticed that she was there. She was way too focused on Katarina and the others. So that would have been kind of a whoa. Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. All right, that's they're there. That's what we're doing.
And lastly, Kata, Cadex, Cataxi, Katarina.
Yeah.
You don't know what the future is going to be, but you do know the weight of the past isn't going to be with you anymore. Not like it was before. You can let go, hon.
And they all said they helped and everything, but I think for the first time in probably 200 plus years, she has hope.
And that, dear viewers, dear friends, is where we are going to close off Numenera Aerowen with In Memoriam, in memory of the lives that our characters have lived, in memory of the worlds that once were, and as a goodbye to all the pains that were with us. Because for those of you who do not know, the term eulogia means both blessing, but it also means goodbye. This was a goodbye to that pain and that weight. So thank you everybody for tuning in to this story, whether you came here for one session or you came here for multiple sessions. I'm going to let my players quickly just say who they are for the last time and go around. I am not going to start in the normal overlay order because I'm going to let Torin have a moment to recover. So I'm going to start with instead Vivi. Why don't you tell us who you are and where we can find you?
Hi, I'm Vivi of Avisha. I played Jinx, the intelligent elf who explores yesterday. Um, you can find me, in the Girls Around These Worlds Discord, or you can find most of my stuff at vivacia.contact in the bio.
Next up, not literally Alex, but Alex playing the man, the myth, the legend that is Enoch. Could only have been done. No one else could ever imitate what a fine man that Enoch was. Alex, tell us where we can find you, hon.
Hey y'all, my name is Alex. I use they them pronouns. I've been playing Enoch, the mystical nano who possesses a shard of the sun. I bop around these internet streets at Alex AMA ALIX AMA _ and yeah, just come find me and come chill.
Chat saying we chose Enoch over the bear every time.
Period, bitch.
Noel, go while I recover.
Hey everyone, I've been Noel. You can find me online at Noel Eve Palmer, NOELLE Gonna be launching a book soon, which I'm very excited about. I've been Errol, and it's been wonderful to play with y'all.
Torin, you're up.
Yep. Hello, everyone. I am Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity on the internet. My pronouns are she, they. I have been playing Katarina, Cadix, Cataxi, and it's been an honor. She is the. I forgot where the fuck pronoun was. It's fine. She, her. And she is the curious Ports and Plug Nano who talks with machines. And as far as where you can find me, I will be recovering on my own Twitch channel, Torin Talks Creativity, and a few other games coming up that I'm sure we will talk about. So, thank you.
Hello there, lovely viewers. Thank you for being here with us and for enjoying this world that took me quite a lot of years to come into making it. I came back to this after about 5-6 years, and it's been an absolute pleasure to expand upon it with what everyone has contributed. It's made me the happiest I've ever been to have made a world and have a cast so willing to engage with it. You can find me over on Patreon at Voice of the Phoenix or Phoenix Femme. I'm usually on most places Phoenix 24 Femme, where I am actually very soon going to be running, starting in June, start playing games of Monster Heart, possibly Fabula Ultima, and maybe 5e on a rare occasion, but definitely Monster Hearts during Pride Month seems like a really good sell. Just tell a bunch of folks, by the way, you get to go make out in a castle out where somewhere in the forest. Enjoy. That feel like that's a pretty easy sell for a lot of queers. But quickly, gonna give some shout outs for some upcoming shows. Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, season 2 of Fate, Auriga Stars. Thank you so much for being the incessantly gay queer time that it is over there. There's nothing but smiles, body horror, the horrifying reality of someone acknowledging you in your full complexity, and Sailor Moon energy with a bit of traumatizing Revolutionary Girl Utena vibes as well. Alta Mirage has been an excellent disaster master over there. Wednesday, join storyteller Anya for Firefly Into the Black, and Thursday, join storyteller Ella starting, I almost forgot about this, starting this next Thursday for Rust, 2 p.m. EST, where I will be a cast member on there. You'll never see me coming in terms of what I got prepared for you over there. And also, before I forget, our flagship show bi-weekly at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Sapphics, headed over by our own dungeon mistress of Roll for Luck Sparked, Ryu in Amelgarth. So tune in for Roll for Luck Sparked over there on Wednesdays. Fridays, no more of this. And then Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern, tune in for our Dragon Age game, All Templars Are Bastards with GM Humaloo. Oh my god, it's been such a good experience listening to that show. If you haven't watched it, go watch the VODs. For fuck's sake, it's worth it. Also, Torin's in it and embarrass them more. And lastly, we have a creator app for June 1 Shops Open. It's going to be Juneteenth and Pride all month long in June. We're definitely looking for GMs with lived experience to share their stories in one-shots celebrating our Black and LGBTQIA plus communities in the month of June. We're going to be raiding into Fusca, folks. And as a last note, much love to you all. This story is a love letter of mine to not just my gracious thanks to Black Futurity, Black Afro Futurist thought, but also to all of the folks who've always imagined themselves having to wander and figure out where their place and home is going to be. You can find it here in the space of the imagination. There's plenty of room here for you to imagine something better. This world is terrible and painful, but it is also rich and good with hope and stories. And we hope that we have given you a fragment of that hope to take with you in your journeys ahead. Many blessings to all of you, and take care.